Right, right, right. So, dear revolutionists, right? As you know, I'm just talking to you. I'm not talking to the masses. I'm only talking to the black revolutionists in the black revolutionist mind, right? So that's who I'm talking to. Anybody else, you just hear, you're allowed to listen. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no secret on, the black revolutionists and who we are, what we think, and how we feel. So I'm just talking to the black revolutionists, right? And I'm going to use Kanye West, right? As my example for this. Now, anybody who knows, I have never, ever been a Kanye supporter. Like, when I say that, I mean like in totality, right? So all of the, oh, Kanye, a genius, those people, like, I'm not one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of the people that's gonna tell you Kanye is this genius. I don't see him as a genius. Um, n- um, Anybody could sample and those type of things. The genius title came from the people he was with, right? And influence, we talked about suggestion and those type of things. So you could see that influence, right? Jay-Z. That's why even Kanye came out with the songs My Big Brother was Jay's brother. Disassociation, disaffiliation with something to make you a part of that. So even if he wasn't right on the Biggie wave, right, he could still use that wave at the time through his association with Jay-Z. So with that, right, we have what we have. There's Kanye, a genius, and then because there's cults, right, and not necessarily control, but just like mental, the followers, those who hear something and then they run with it, right. So now we have Kanye, this genius. Right, but let's take a step back to Kanye, first coming out, because a lot of we're gonna play a video. We're gonna play the video of him, talking about this implication of the Illuminati, right, and him supposedly not in this system, not knowing that yes, he even if you know, like I said, a lot of people would be in this and they don't know. I can't say that for him, right? I know because I'm hearing the contradictions. I'm hearing the Kanye Jesus walks, right? And then I'm knowing Jay-Z's Lucifer, Kanye, making this. So for me, Kanye is doing a double talk, right? Black on White Lives Matter because his children's mother is white. That's double talk, right? So, complaining about the Jews, right, and their financial dealings, right? But you was operating in their system, right? Their system is, entertainment and, giving this message, to the people, and you contributed. Like I just said, Jay-Z's Lucifer and you, Jesus Walk. Those are two opposite things. And if you was at a high Christian morals, right, that you're professing, and you would see all of the damage of that lifestyle for you to engage in a song like Lucifer, while putting out a song like Jesus Walk, right? Jesus Walks or whatever, right? You putting out those are pure contradictions of each other. And now, mind you, I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. I'm none of those things. I have, no stake in that dog fight. Right? There's no bone in that dog fight for me. I'm just, someone on the outside who knows that your influence, right, impacts the world around you, right? So Kanye had a certain influence or has a certain influence, especially with the youth. So the things that he say, right, are geared towards the youth. And so if you pay attention to what he's saying and you hear his suggestions, you would be cautious as well, right? And this is for the black revolutionists of today. Now, for the black revolutionists of tomorrow, I'm explaining this person to you. They probably won't even have no real value to you outside of some historical reference, right? But as far as them having any social impact, most likely they won't have none in your time, right? So with him, you will learn. I want you to learn the tactics, so you don't hold the person, you hold the system that's built around them, and you look at that system and you understand it and you call it out for what it is, right? So here it is, right? We're about to get into this video, and then from then I'll start giving my commentaries on what he said, because he did not, blame Jay-Z and Beyonce and all of these people, that he named. He did not blame them for his, mother's death. He's saying that the Hollywood system, right, or that entertainment system, that could be sports, drugs, and what is using with my boy Cameron, right? Sex, drugs, and entertainment. But it's just this field, right? So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna listen to Kanye, and I'm gonna, be pausing at times, to give more insight on what I perceive. But like I said, for me, if you've been watching, the videos before I started just speaking to the black man, I was actually speaking to, everybody in general. And inside that, I basically called the situation that Kanye was gonna be in, because it's clear, right? A while back, like say a year ago, right? Year and a half, let's say, Kanye popped up with "I'm a billionaire and the richest rapper and this, that, and the third," right? Out of nowhere. And if you know me, I was already questioning it. It just seemed, odd. You know what I mean? It wasn't odd that he could be, this billionaire or anything like that. It just seemed odd on how it was, presented, how it came out to the people, so it just did not sit well. And then I had some pictures with, Kanye with these white guys, and they throwing, the white power signs around him, got the arm around his neck. So for me, right, and then Kanye, the White Lives Matter, like, these things told me that he's just like a flunky. Like, I can go into, not right now because I wasn't prepared, but I can go into old posts of me addressing this about, and this is on Facebook, And it'll have the dates on it. It'll tell you how long I was basically addressing, Kanye, the gay remarks with him and the fashion industry, and then he made two, from I know, right? He had made two references to like gays and the fashion industry and controlling it. But this was like when he was first getting into the industry. So this was even before he actually, did his own thing in it with as far as the clothing is concerned, right? So inside of that I already knew, you know what I'm saying, that this was not somebody that I personally would be messing with like throughout his career because of these things. Now, when the transformation from, hard, hip hop, to the more softer Kanye Drake, right? We could hear the references to, Kanye's style, like, not being gangster. And so that's what's gonna play a part in this video, right? His statements on those things is gonna, I wish I could, bring a lot of them up. So I'll be paraphrasing, in those type of things. And if needs be, I will, he mentions it even on Drink Champs. He alludes to and says these things. So it's not going to be hard for me to bring those videos up if need be. So I'm going to stand my ground on why I personally never supported Kanye, right? As in this totality, the whole George Bush doesn't care, the Taylor Swift, all of these, these antics, you know what I mean? I never was, mesmerized, enticed and fooled by those type of things. It just never was something for me. It was always, yeah, this is about to be that person. Because I've been watching and studying this system for so long that I could see when it's coming. I know who's these people are, right? And so, this is how you keep, as a black revolutionist, this is why you're not going to have many friends, if any. Like, this is why I'm talking to an individual, because most likely you won't be in a group setting. You'll be around groups, you'll have love, you'll give love, but you will notice that they are not revolutionists, right? They are educators reading books and right, but they will not take that information and let that be the fuel, right? Be the fuel for whatever rage that they have, the information, this trick knowledge, this system that, is mentally enslaving the people. They're not taking that information and they're not utilizing that information to, push forth push forth their rage. Utilize that as your rage. Like, oh, y'all doing this. There's no slick talking, manipulative way you gonna stop what I'm bringing to you because the sword is over your head. It's been there. You just didn't know that somebody could crack the code. You understand what I'm saying? So the black revolution is very, very small. Your demographics are gonna be small. You understand what I'm saying? It's not gonna be large. So even the people around you, sure, it'll give you sense of motivation, right? It'll give you a sense of purpose, right? Because they will be saying the things that you know. But they won't know it. They'll just be regurgitating it. And then so you'll notice that you'll never be able to unify the people because the liar will get in front of you. And so you got to educate in private. I'm educating all in public, but you got to actually, and that's going to take so much time. So now, with a book coming out and these type of things, it will be able to have this universal, like all of the attacks in one space. So then that way, if you choose to attempt to give people the information, they won't have to struggle. I don't doubt you. I don't doubt, even without this information, your natural intuitions have already told you what it is. Like, even if you didn't know how they was doing it, your rage and your anger that they're doing something, oppressing the people, right, and those type of things, you already did. You didn't really need to know exactly, right? Because you know what you see in your face. So you didn't need like this historical or those background things. You just, know that, listen, I can look around, see my people are being violated and those type of things. I don't need to know the technology, right? But the information that I'm given, right, for the Black revolutionists is strictly for the purpose of for your sense of, sanity, your sense of understanding, right? No, for not for nobody else. This is not for the people that you have to pass to somebody else and tell them, this is that, or, those type of things. This ain't that. Oh, by the way, this is Old York Gritty Grand Strains, right? Right? And this is, Black Revolutionist Mind, right? So this is to the Black Revolutionists. So the Black Revolutionists, you wouldn't have no problem hitting that like bell, that subscribe, and them notifications. Now, this is of course if I'm still around. Right, so if I'm not around, you can still hit the like button. Maybe other people can get it, but if I'm still around, hit the subscribe and the notification bell so you can get more. If I'm not around, I left all of the information that I could at that moment, at this point in time, because there's so much more, right? But for the information that I got, gave you now, it should be able to, like, if you look through all of those videos, you should be able to have a very clear understanding, right? And, me, this is why I've been hesitant on the end game, because the end game is a two-part. It could be for those who want to take the legal, those smart bookie dudes who don't want to put no real revolutionary action in, and so they might believe in, the legal system. So this right here, the information can play for those who have all reason to pull out the swords and start chopping off heads, and you have the other side for those who believe in the white word, right? The white system, the white legal system, and all those type of things. And so, that part is for them. If they believe that they can walk inside there, I mean, I have the legal information, so I don't doubt that legally there is, claims. So this is why I don't have a problem with the lip professing revolutionists, because you could still, set the people right if we're going the economical way. I'm agricultural, right? I'm for the land. I'm not for, economics, working for somebody on my land and they reap all of the benefits. So I'm not an economical person. I am, an agricultural person. Barter and trade in, the whole hunter gatherer, like all of that is in the agricultural, but it's promoted in the economical. The wolf going to hunt for a job, but like I said, hunting for a job is not hunting for buffalo. The buffalo does not pick who's going to catch it, because the buffalo does not want to get caught. So it took pure skill of all of those people. In an economic world, it ain't about what you know, it's who you know. That means that you got to know the buffalo. That's not, a hunter-gatherer. And so they use that mentality to bring a sense of insecurity in the people on whoever is, whether it be the male and giving the insecurity to the female. And now, the females, are in it. And so if you're not a man, if you don't do have this, and you know what I mean? So this psychological game is, what's being addressed. So let's get into this video. All right? That's 20 minutes over me just rambling. So let's get into this.
If they can't scare you, they can't control you, they can't, they try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
So when we hear right there, right, when we hearing Kanye, right, he is saying that this industry, right, you see how he has 400 million, he was supposed to be this billionaire, but he's secure in his 400 million, right? If we took any of those people that he names, right, we're gonna listen to him again. If we took these names, right, and we put their words up against their financial situation, right? It was okay for Jay-Z to promote, Luciferian and, we've been praying so long that we atheists and, Lucifer and all of these, little things, right? He was allowed, the Christian church wasn't, shutting his money down. It wasn't nothing to do with, right, because that's what the agenda was. When he's saying Shaq, we know, Shaq down with that system, right? He a police officer. He, just by the police officer alone, we know that he's a part of that system, right? So we got Barkley. We, the black community is not, confused on Charles Barkley either, right? So we are going to listen to that part again.
What's the crazy part, really?
If they can't scare you, they can't control you, they can't,
Right? Now, I want to point out that the worst thing that Kanye was doing was actually engaging with these how do you say it? Reporters, right? These sporadic reporters. He has something to say, right? And so he's letting random people ask questions, right? And he's not pulling up and giving his statement, right? He's not saying, yo, boom, boom, boom. He's actually engaging. So then he's allowing those who interview to lead him. And so this is how he wound up and, with the social media, oh, he said Jay-Z and this, that, and the third without listening. He's being guided in the conversation, by, those people. Hold on a minute here. I gotta, right? So he's being guided by these people, right? Just through the conversation, because he doesn't understand suggestions. So now he can be led in the conversation, and so his words, like, the criminal system, can be used against him.
they try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They could control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce,
But not you, man.
but they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone and let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slights from nobody.
Now, the Minister Louis of Farrakhan part, like I said, I'm not a Nation of Islamist. I don't support the Moors, right? I don't support any of that Freemasonic system, right? So I don't have nothing to do with him talking about pardon me, I got this beeping sound. Like I don't have a problem, with that. I actually find his approach to the Minister Farrakhan one of the most manliest things he's done. Meaning that, like, if you feel somebody is slighting you, taking these indirect attacks on you, you can address it. But he did it like a G. He ain't coming at him, oh, you F this, and like, he's just simply saying he didn't appreciate it. Let's get on the phone and let's, talk that out. I didn't like the way that you approach that.
Right? I ain't taking no slights from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mama ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm Christian too.
Michael.
Now, he's saying his mother was sacrificed, right? The streets have always said no, basically they've always, how the conspiracy theorists and all of that, it all is going to always lean towards the individual within the industry sacrificed a loved one, not somebody else sacrificing your loved one. So now, we're getting this new narrative, right, of somebody else, and that's not how that works. And it works by you making a sacrifice. So I'm not saying he sacrificed his mother. Maybe his mother just simply passed away, right? But if, we're saying there's sacrifice and he's referencing to, this trauma, system in order to control the people, he's going to say that. Let me just get into that.
Jordan, what about him? His dad, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son.
Right. So now, as you can see, he's naming these people who lost their offspring, right? But he's saying that if it is this Illuminati, right? If it is this secret society, which I know to be real, I do know sacrifices to be real, might not be in the same ways that you might think. I know sacrificing to be, even abortions. I know sacrifices to mean, allowing your children to go into certain environments with the potential of something foul happening to them. Right? I know, this to come, from a hatred of men, right? And so we have a new system coming into place. And so that new system required, these sacrifices in order to make the shift, meaning that, the passing the realm over to your daughter, all of the promotion that you see on TV, right? So, to be having the firstborn daughters and these type of things is that system, right? So, you would have to look at a lot of the women, right? Because this is a system based around turning the woman into God, right? So she's the one who's making this decision of your life or death, your existence, right? Because, I can run off the father and then I can have, so all of this stuff is showing, quote unquote, this superiority within this. But, the God is the government in the system. So if that system is feminine, right, then you can say, yes, God is a woman, based on, these things. But according to Freemasonry, woman is the devil, right? So that's where you get Satanism and spirituality, because the tactics they would use, the wickedness they would use, right? Stealing your heritage. Oh, the bloodline comes from the woman, and right, all of these things is what the Black Revolutionist has to see while he's making these statements. He's making a statement, right? My statement is that cannot be the case due to the fact that those who benefit would have to be the one to make, those sacrifices. Right, so I'm not saying, Kanye sacrificed his mother, or Jordan, or Cosby, Dr. Dre, these people that he's naming, right? But he's changing the narrative, because we can go back to Abraham and even sacrificing his own son. Right, so that's those signs. You have to read the Bible to understand a lot of the game plan. Like, you don't read it in this religious way. You read it as a tactical book, right? You read it as these are tactics. This is history. This is a history book, right? It's all of those, but it has nothing to do with some mystery. I tell you that damn much, right? But like I said, so we're gonna go and let him finish.
Around Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. What about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. Out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing.
Man, he's making this implication.
Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me.
So right there, people have, again, conflated two informations. He's mentioning Jay-Z, right? He's mentioning a sacrifice that Hollywood is imposing on the people, right? So I don't hear anywhere inside of there him accusing, Jay-Z of, and I'm only saying this because of titles that I've seen on YouTube and stuff. Oh, Kanye says Jay-Z and these people, right, and did this, and that's not what he's saying. He's saying that, one, those people can be controlled because of their financial situation, right? He's saying that other people, right, the Jordan, I'm talking about the first group, the Jay-Z's and all of that, they can be controlled because of their financial situation. He's talking the Cosby's, him, Michael Jordan's, children sacrifices on this other entity that utilizes this to control you, right? And but he's saying through trauma. So I'm confused on, how is that controlling the Cosby, or is there a threat? Is it we can do more, we can do this? So then that means if you could, in order for you to use that trauma in that way, like, just simply, your mother dying, yeah, you could be in some stress, but I don't see all your actions being controlled and dictated through that. Then that means that your mother was your handler. Like, that meant that she had to been the one that was controlling you, and they removed her so they can control you. Would that be the case for Jordan's, father? Was that the controller? Would Bill Cosby, Ennis, his son, like, his son couldn't have been Bill Cosby's controller? You understand what I'm saying? Like, when you hear certain things, you have to be cautious. Like, learn from this person. Learn from them. Learn what they are implying, right? And then understand reality, right? Who's saying it and what they are bringing to the table. So like I said, I would never say, he sacrificed, his, but according to the Bible and these type of things, that's internal. That's not external. You don't sacrifice, somebody else's, right? Like, say, even in the old Aztec, those people the parents, offered this child, right? They knew it was a virgin or whatever, and they, groomed it in order to make that sacrifice. You understand what I'm saying? So his statement on these people do not coincide with what those titles of what he's saying. Like, he's not saying that. Listen.
Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
As you hear, these are financial problems. Economics. That's the devil, right? So he's not speaking agricultural, right? At least with like a Rick Ross and buying land, or David Chappelle, right? Even though he did that too, not saying he didn't buy those land and all of that, but what I'm saying is that should be his argument. It should not be this financial thing, because those who are following him, right, will not understand that it has, this economic system is set up. This was set up against us. It was not set up for you. Those are the invaders who come in, and they can get you to, water the grass and those type of things, even though they took it from you. They took it from you and let you occupy it and take care of their stuff. So economics is the devil. It's technology. Agriculture is real. This piece of land is yours. The things that grow on it is yours. If you want, something over there, you trade and you barter, right? So, that system of economics was to make sure that they can always, track, the government's dealing. So even now when you see digital, currency, that's even locking down other criminal elements, right? So it's just like Freemasonry with the talking. Like, if you argue a system that's moving forward, right now they promoting the female as God, right? So you speak history of saying that the egg is not alive, right? You put an egg the human egg in a microscope, it's not alive. right? You take sperm, right, and you put it under a microscope and it's live, right? So what did they do? Oh, every woman has generations through the eggs, through them, and so, right? So they had to get in front of the simple fact. The simple fact is, listen, you were limited, right? You only have an X amount of eggs. You can only produce an X amount of children, right? They're all like, and nowadays with this, artificial insemination, like you could have twins and triplets, but originally those would be those rarities, right? And so you see in Hollywood, when you see the twins popping up and all of that, it should be something that you should be questioning, right? Even though Hollywood probably won't be here when you run across this information, it'll be, something else, but entertainment-wise, right? But nonetheless, Kanye is not saying that these people did certain things. He's saying, or even with the implication of this trauma system, I would have to debate that because that's not how that works. So you were so trauma that you made Jesus walks and then turn around and make Lucifer, son of the morning, right? And then turn around and now you this Christian again. A Christian who promoted Satanism. Right? A Christian who promoted a person who told you he don't believe in your God. Matter of fact, to the point that he called himself Jehovah. Like your God's name and, these type of things. So then you would have to question what are your ends and objectives in this?
That's more important than thinking alive.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want.
Right? Now, Kanye West right there, right? What he's making reference to is, like I said earlier, he is not a gangster rapper. He never held the image of this hard, tough guy, right? So he's not under that bind. He's not, being affected. He got his 400 billion and he got out, right? No, 400 million. Let me go back here real quick. Play this again.
That's more important than thinking alive.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozies, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want.
Now, I'm going to make reference to Puffy, right? Because I remember when Nas, right, he made Hate Me Now. And remember, he made this, Jesus imagery. And Puffy was like, nah, get me out of that, right? Because he's supposed, he's under that bound or whatever, right? We can, Meek Mills being, being this new voice and advocate for the criminal, procedures, right? Or the wicked practices of the criminal procedures, right? Who else did he name? He said Diddy, he made, whatever. He names these people and he's saying he's this, and Bootsy, right? Well, I don't understand how Bootsy gets into that, right? Because Bootsy is basically surviving off of the people. He's not industry, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not a Bootsy fan either, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. Like I said, I'm just, laying certain things on the table, right? So to clarify him and what he's saying that he's not a gangster rapper. He's not this hard rock, right? So he doesn't have that sword over his head, right? And since he doesn't have that sword over his head, he can say what he wants in comfort. He doesn't have to worry about somebody, pulling something up on him to utilize that to take him out, right? Like, say Puffy, right? In the quad shooting. Say there was somebody who could say EXYZ, right? I believe Glenn something he talks about certain things when it comes to Puffy, right? Say you're Meek Mill. Say, he's saying this, this hard imagery and these people he's around. What if that could be used against him? You understand what I'm saying? He's saying he never played a part in any of that. Like, sideways. This is what he's claiming, right? And then he says what?
And not go to jail. And even if they did figure out a way, I'm still not backing down from what I said. It's Jewish people that did bad business.
Right? So, once again, this is the ending part is telling you this is nothing to do with a black fight. This has nothing to do with a black fight. This has to do with black business with European counterparts, right? Which is, our concern, I guess, if you're on that, the book smarts and all of that. But if you're a revolutionist, you want the land. So we don't really care about your bad business. We accepted it. First of all, your bad business started when you came over here, when you came into Africa. Your bad business started then. So for anybody, that's really what it is. There's no real concern in any of the other stuff. It's supposed to be a realization that they came in, they invaded, they occupied, and they're occupying at the present moment. They have you paying for your land, your property, right, and telling you it's economics. So then you can, when you hearing a Kanye having an economic issue, Kanye is supposed to say, I got 400 billion, right, and he's supposed to start recruiting, I'm just being honest. He's supposed to be recruiting, what is it? What's his name? They call him a criminal organized leader. Hoover, Larry Hoover, right? That's what they call him, right? Now, Larry Hoover can be a great general, right? Larry Hoover, if his voice and his words, hold impact, he could take that organization and turn that into his army, right? They already switching over to be Hebrews, and that's where he's getting all of this information, because those organizations, the Blues, I call it the Blues umbrella, they are going into, Judaism, Israelites, that whole gang system over there is under that, right? Then you got the Reds, and they're under, Islam and those type of things. So, right? So this is where he's getting at. So you might as well finance that organization. Take $100 million, and you got 300 million to sit comfortably, and you dump that 100 million into that organization, and you turn that 100 million into another, add another 500 mil on that. So now you got 800 mil after you do it right. Right? And I don't mean through criminal activities per se, right? Because my version of criminal is black on black crime. Right? Meaning that you pick up a gun, you shooting another black person, but even in that, there's gray line, because we have to first call a truce. Like, once we call a truce, whoever crosses that line is the violator. And if they are not willing within that circle to remove that violator, then that whole system needs to be removed, and then you have this ongoing problem. Right? And so my thing is, you can occupy neighborhoods slowly, right? But that's gonna be a problem. So you would have, say, if it's a Crip, or say you have a Blood and Crip truce, and one Crip organization breaking it, all the Crips need to basically go up in there. Like, and it doesn't have to be in a gun way. It can be, listen, this set no longer exists, right? If you claim this, then you are causing a conflict, because that system over there is dedicated to no unification. We already called the truth, so that means that there's a unification here. We opened, the conversational floodgates, right, to start a healing process. So anybody who goes against that is permanently, out of the loop. And so then so that means that first you have to unify the people in order for you to find out who is determined on keeping us separated. So once we have that established, then we can establish black on black crime. For me personally, black on black crime is rape, molestation, like I said, in robbery, because you don't have to take that out on your people. If you are chasing the economic system, you should be going after those who own it. You should not be going after those who are in the same situation as you. All right? So we're going to play this one more. We're going to play this out, and then I'm going to play the whole totality,
I'm Semite, so I can't be anti-Semitic. They stole our history from us.
Right? So he's basically right there regurgitating there's Semite, right? I could say, the science of, Judaism and all of that. I would say Jay-Z is more of a Jew, right, than Kanye. Right now, Kanye has contributed to that system, but the wordplay and all of that is where Judaism comes from. Like that, the suggestion and those things within it is, the Judaism. Right? That's why, it's not necessarily an ethical, not ethical, my fault. I'm trying to think of it's something like ethical, but it's like, let's just say your urban identity. Right, so this imagery, right, is a European thing. I'm sorry, right? And if Arab people, and this is only because if Arab people identify themselves leaning towards the whiteness, then that's just what it is, because that's their system. This is a Arabic system. It's not a, African system. It's not a European. Because, the thing is, if you listen to these people, right, like, oh, it's African, you would know that literally the area that they're saying is all in the same area. So this is like a, those who are not historically king confusing. Right. So like I said, I'm not, downing on any black person who says they're Jew. I just separate from them mentally because I know that they have no understanding. They're just regurgitating information. And I really don't know why would a black person want to associate themselves with the Jews. Right. I just don't understand that. Right.
They stole who we are, and it's up. In Jesus' name, amen. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Now he's saying in Jesus' name, which is this white person, right? So this confusion with him, like I said, I can get it. He does not have a full sense of information. Right, he's getting it. Right, let me put those loves up there and those likes. Right, don't forget to hit those like button. So you see us there. Right. We are not understanding, right, that system over there. So we're conflating information, and we're getting it from the biggest conflator, like somebody who just throws everything in one pot. So he's a perfect example of our society, right? Our society is chasing the money. This is why, as a black revolutionist, you're different, right? But this society is chasing European standards, and so they'll never be able to get out of that. Let me play this video in its totality.
What's the crazy part, really?
If they can't scare you, they can't control you, they can't. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You
Not
see, it
you.
ain't no name I won't name.
Exactly.
It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you, but the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone. Let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slights from nobody, right? I ain't taking no slights from nobody. It's God. That's the only person that I serve. My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
Me too.
You understand?
Yeah. I'm Christian too.
Michael Jordan, what about him? His daddy, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. Out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. You understand? They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all that away. Still, Forbes, who hate me, right, had to write net worth 400 million. Jesus is king. God loved me.
That's more important thing in life.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boozy, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal. I never killed nobody, right? I'm the pussy that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail. And even if they did figure out a way, I'm still not backing down from what I said. It's Jewish people that did bad business. I'm Semite, so I can't be anti-Semitic. They stole our history from us. They stole who we are, and it's up. In Jesus' name, amen. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Yes, sir,
Thank you.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Officer down! I repeat, officer down! Shots fired! Shots fired! Officer down! I repeat, officer down!
Keep your hands in the air. Walk backwards towards the sound of my voice.
Sorry. Right? Kanye is telling you certain things. You are not listening. Right? And like I said, because it's appealing to your likes and wants, you see the appeal part. You don't see how that can also be used against him. Social media attacking him and these type of things and misquoting him. But because he is misinformed, he is easily led in because the people, you see, he's not dictating this conversation, right? He's not dictating it.
What's the crazy part?
You understand what I'm saying? Let me
can't scare you. They
bring the
can't control
volume
you. They
down
can't.
some.
They
Right?
try
Have
to
it playing in the
suppress you.
background.
That's how they try to categorize
They
you.
can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can
Right.
control Charles Barkley.
So
Control LeBron James.
hold on,
They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
right? So
No name I won't name.
inside of this, we can hear,
And just for minutes,
right,
the
Kanye,
way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying?
right,
I'm taking a
having a conflict,
Let's talk that out.
right? But
I don't care who you are.
he doesn't have
Nobody.
complete thought,
I ain't taking no slight.
right? So as he's talking,
The only person that I serve, my mom ain't.
the person who's questioning him is basically having the ability to not let him have this complete
Son,
thought,
Dr. Dre, his son.
right? He's not allowed to have it
Come up missing.
because he has so much on his mind, right? And he's thinking he's not being heard, and so he's using our elements, Hebrew Israelites and all of this stuff, right?
Right? Had to write.
To get his point across, like, you know, this affiliation, but his goals is totally different. His goals and his gripe is
Just don't be heard. Y'all can't send none of
dealings,
y'all puppies, y'all little boozies, none of these.
right? Saying it's not, looking at it as giving me some type of problem, right? His goals are not in the same direction. He's telling you, Forbes, yeah, they heard, you know, they don't like me, but they had, you know, to still say 400 million. You see what his argument in his fight is. My fight and our fight as the Black Revolutionists is the land, is to free the people, not this so-called economic freedom. Pure freedom. Pure freedom. That's the only thing that we are here arguing for.
That never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail.
Not this partial freedom.
They did figure out a way. I'm still not backing down from what I said. It's
See?
Jewish people that did bad business.
See,
I'm Semite.
right there.
I'm still not backing down from what I said. It's Jewish people that did bad business. I'm Semite, so I can't be anti-Semitic.
You
I'm
see
still not backing
that
down from what I
conflation.
said. It's Jewish people that did bad business. I'm still not backing down from what I said. It's Jewish people that did bad business.
This is the argument. This is the fight. Kyrie Irving's argument is totally different. And you will run across these situations in your time. It's going to always be this same system. So fear not. There will be another Kanye to pop up. There will be millions of Kyrie Irvings. The millions of Kyrie Irvings need to join this fight. The Kanye Wests, we need to see them brewing before they even get there. One, not support them. And two, separate ourselves from them. If they believe that these Europeans are so great, don't let them use our imagery, our history, even though they might come from there. You do not honor it. So you are not allowed to utilize this system. It's like, we hear drill music, right? We go, yo, listen, you can have your own music. We respect that. Don't call it hip hop because you are not respecting the tenets of hip hop. You're not respecting it. You don't use metaphors, word plays. You understand what I'm saying? You're not being creative. You're like, everything about it is a whole different genre. Like, y'all can do what you want and we'll support it. I like drill music. You know what I mean? I ain't got no problem with it. As long as we understand that it's not hip hop music. Right, so I could talk to any drill person, break down their songs. Oh, I love this, yo, that was hot, yo, and still never acknowledge it as hip hop. Now, I can acknowledge it as using elements of hip hop, talking to a beat, right, or rhyming words to a beat, but that's not the creativeness of hip hop. Those are like those very small, elements, like the introduction. Like if you was holding a class, that would be 101, right? You wouldn't go out with 101 lesson and apply it, to this whole system. No, that's just, okay, words, is an element. Now, how to use the words would become, in the hip hop world. All right. So anyway, like I said, I wanted to, play Kanye. I wanted to play his argument. I wanted to clarify. He did not say Jay-Z, sacrifice his moms or Beyonce. He didn't say none of those things. None of those things was said. You understand what I'm saying? None of them. Those are things that are being misconstrued. Like I said, this is Old York Gritty. Politics as usual, also grand strains. So that's why I brought some of this greenery out. This, by the way, right? Let me show you this bud again. All right. Show you one of these buds. Right. Now this is some pink Panama. Right. You can see it. Nice size. Right. Nice size buds. I'll be doing some more. I got some more coming. I got the OG 3-barrel G, and I got some Fuge State, and hopefully by Thursday, because I'm waiting for some soil, I'll be dropping again, right? But this time I'll be doing the nutrients and all. I'll be doing a show on that. This is not for that. But anyway, This is for the Black Revolutionist mind and how to stay free mentally first. Because if you can stay free mentally, then you are able to free the people physically.
More important thing in life.
That's the thing.
Peace.
You know what I'm saying? And this truth
Let's
is gonna
end
hurt.
this.